So you remember the first thing we do when we start the engine on our pre-takeoff checklist?
Check our max?
Well, no. Well, that's one of the things we do, but we're going to use the word cigar. Remember we did that cigar as an acronym.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and do that now. So C is for controls, and so move that stick to your left, to your right, front to your back, and we'll want to make sure everything's working like it's supposed to. You feel okay?
Yep.
Rudder
nice,
pedals
nice.
are control as well. There you go. Cool. We'll call that good. I is for instruments. We only talked about a couple of these last time. We're going to talk about a couple more today. Top left is your altimeter. Make sure that's set at 800 feet. There you go. Mine's at 800 feet. Your airspeed's at 0. That little black ball there is in the middle. We didn't talk anything about the top right instrument, I don't think. Your vertical speed indicator. That's like a really sensitive barometer. So it tells you what you did about 4 seconds ago. So if the needle is pointing to, let's just say, the 5 above the 0, basically how you read that is in 1 minute, 60 seconds, we're going to be 500 feet higher.
So that's our rate of climb.
Rate of climb, exactly. Bottom left is your tack. You're going to be on that today. So how you read that is like right now, I know your needle is all over the dial, but it's close to the 6, right? Maybe a little bit more than that. 600 RPM. When you add some power and that long needle goes to the 0, that little window at the 9 o'clock position will say 1. So that's 1,000 RPM. Full power is the needle's going to go around the dial almost 2 complete revolutions. So about 1,950 RPM. If you look at that placard on the far left-hand side of the panel, it says avoid operations above 1,900 except for takeoff.
Right.
So your full power for takeoff, and then once we get a positive rate of climb, we're going to bring the power back to 1,800 RPM. And that's about halfway back on the throttle quadrant on your left.
Okay.
Oil pressure's in the green, bottom right, that's the most important gauge in the airplane. And your oil temperature is around 30, maybe a little bit more than that. So we're looking good there. G is gasoline. Your fuel gauge is again above your head, sticking down out of the tank. So we have, what do we got, like 3 hours of fuel, maybe a little bit more than 3 hours of fuel on board. Inside the cockpit, your mixture is rich, and right ahead of that, the fuel is on. So red means fuel. There is a little red thing right down by your left ankle that I'm moving around. That's our control lock. And that's stowed, that's not out. It's not engaged now. A is accessories, your elevator trim tab underneath the throttle on the left side. Anytime you fly this airplane, it weighs different. Sometimes there's people up in the front, sometimes there's not. So you want to be able to have the airplane fly straight and level without having to put pressure on the stick. And you can achieve that by moving the trim tab. And once we get up there today, when we level off, I'm going to have you do some exercises with that.
Right.
So the last letter is R, run up, and we're going to do that out by the runway. So here's the ATIS here.
Area. Further information available on Highlands Flight Service frequencies. 5 honest contact, you have Gulf.
So it's a recording that they make at the top of every hour.
Kalamazoo Airport information Gulf 19053 Zulu. Wind 070 at 7, gust 12. Visibility 10. Q class 5000.
So they're saying 070 at
3011.
7, gusting at 12.
Hazardous weather for the Kalamazoo area. Further information available on Highlands Flight Service frequencies. 5 honest contact, you have Gulf. Kalamazoo Airport information Gulf 19053 Zulu.
So they call it Gulf. So what we'll do is a lot of times when they make that recording, the weather changes. In fact, if we move the airplane forward a little bit here, we're going to go ahead and do that now. We get it going forward here. So Barrett, if you look over here, you see the windsock?
Yep.
Over there? Looks like it's going to be favoring runway 5. That's the one we're going to use. So go ahead and put your feet on those pedals, heels on the floor. Let me go ahead and call the tower here. I'll show you how to make this airplane do what we want it to do. Kalamazoo ground Stearman 1, we're at the Air Zoo with Delta ready to taxi runway 5.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo ground, runway 5, taxi via Bravo, Foxtrot to Foxtrot 2.
And Bravo Foxtrot to Foxtrot 2, say current winds?
Wind 060 with 6.
Alright. So let me show you how to do this here. So we're going to go on out to the main runway or taxiway here. Now, this is kind of cool because this taxiway is really wide. And I actually might ask for the runway to back taxi. But because it's wide, these runway lights are a danger to us. So we don't want to go too far on these things here, because we'll hit the runway lights with our wing. So the idea is you go a little bit to the right, like so, and then you hang your head over the left side.
Turn there, right on the Foxtrot taxi to REI.
Then you gently go back to the right, and then you hang your head out, or the left, and you hang your head out the right-hand side. Airplane is yours. Keep it nice and slow. I want you to zigzag all the way down here, and I'll give you some directions once we get farther down the taxiway. What you want to do is move your whole leg and not your ankles. There you go. So we're coming to the right, and then you hang your head out the left-hand side. Neutralize your pedal input, and I think you're dragging on the brake a little bit. There you go. Try not to do that.
When you're steering, do you want to avoid brake altogether?
Altogether.
Okay.
On a nose wheel airplane, it doesn't matter. On a tail wheel airplane, it does matter. There you go. Good, just like this. We have to realize the only time an airplane can be damaged is now on the ground. So that's why we're never, never in a hurry with it. And so down here you'll see there's some signs on the left. Give you a little bit more power here. The signs on your left say BF and B927. B is Bravo, F is Foxtrot. We were instructed to make a left-hand turn on Foxtrot. So the next left, I want you to go ahead and make that. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for you because the taxiway goes from being this wide to only, gosh, it's like 30 feet wide, maybe 40 feet wide. So we can't do those zigzags. We have to go straight. So we'll make this left-hand turn here. So what I want you to do here, kind of simulate the takeoff roll. I want you to look straight ahead, focus on infinity, and you can see the side of the taxiway here. I want you to go straight. See if you can get it going straight. Just don't over control it, just get it going straight if you can. You can kind of see why I don't really want people doing this on their first flight.
Right.
It's a handful.
Do you have to move the pedals really far to get it to move,
No,
or is that just
you're going too far. There you go, small little movements.
So it's just slow and waiting for it.
Yeah, there's a dampener, there's a spring on the control system behind my rear seat. That's why there's always a delay.
Okay.
So let me help you here. This is what I want you to do.
Delta Kalamazoo Tower, runway 35, code line.
Just go straight, just like this. And then make a little bit, we're going a little bit to the right, so add a little left rudder.
Stearman 1, that's Foxtrot 2, cross runway 9er to hotel.
Foxtrot 2 across 9er to hotel, Stearman 1. Good, just like you're doing, just like this, good. And now we're going a little bit to the left, so start coming to the right. And then back left. So I don't know if you've ever sailed, but this is kind of like sailing. It's very similar to tacking in the sailboat. There you go. Now, he just gave us some instructions to make a right on Foxtrot 2. That's right ahead of us. So I want you to make a right here. And then he did clear us to go ahead and cross runway 927. miles. Obviously, you can see it kind of eases off to the left up here.
Then the runway you said to take off from was 5?
5, yeah.
Okay.
Because there's our windsock. So this windsock's going back and forth between 9 and 5. So like right now, it probably is favoring 5, but before it was favoring, or 9, but before it was favoring 5, and now it's favoring 5. So it's kind of just zigzagging back and forth. All right, so there's your hold short line right there. So yeah, apply a little brake. Let's go ahead and finish off our checklist. We're going to do that by adding, checking our engine magnetos. The magneto switch is on the far left-hand side of the panel. So what I want you to do is, stick back, go ahead and add power. We're looking for 1,300 RPM. We want the, there you go, that's 1,300 RPM. Now reach over with your left hand. I want you to move that little black lever from both to R. You'll feel a little detente in there. There you go. We lost about 50 RPM. That's normal. Back to both. Over to left. Usually you lose a little bit more. That's fine. Back to both. Carburetor heat comes on, and it's hot. We lose about 30 RPM, and that's fine as well. Great. All right, Barrett, you can gently bring the power back to idle. All the way back. So all the way back. There you go. So it didn't come back. Cool. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take off, and I'm going to tell him that we want to go to Schoolcraft. So what he's going to do with us is going to take off, and then we're going to make, I'm going to ask him if we can make a right downwind departure so we're not flying over people's houses. And if he allows that, we're going to make a right-hand turn, then a right-hand turn. Schoolcraft is out this way, about 5 or 6 miles. And so we're going to head on over that way. And we're just going to climb up to 1,800 feet, just like we did before. And then once we get out there, it's all open fields and cornfields, and that's where that runway is that I want you to use today. And then we'll do our approaches into that. You take off once again when we're ready to go. You're gonna taxi on out. You'll make a right-hand turn, line up the airplane with the runway. This runway is a little wider than our taxiway, obviously, that we were using before, but the concept is the same. You look straight ahead. You focus on infinity. You bring the power into full power.
Ground, hello, Sky 3557 with Golf, ready for push off gate 4.
And bring the power forward. Keep it going straight. Once the tail comes off the ground, she's ready to fly.
All right.
So,
Do you have control of the tail wheel lock?
there is no tail wheel lock that we have control of. There's a little steering column on the tail wheel itself with a spring on the top.
Okay.
So the airplane will steer either way of neutral, either side of neutral, 15 degrees. And then if you come to a stop, you can actually pop it out and it'll do a 180.
Okay.
So it's kind of got the best of both worlds, but we don't have a physical lock with it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let me call the tower. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1, we're number 1 at 5, ready to go. We'd like to make a right-hand downwind departure and head over towards Schoolcraft and call you inbound.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo Tower, proceed as requested, runway 5, clear for takeoff.
Ready to go, right turn out, downwind departure, Stearman 1. All right, so go ahead and add some power. We don't need any more brake the whole rest of the time. So get it on out to the center line there. As you can see, this is what I was telling you about. It's kind of flat here, then it kind of goes downhill. So bring the power back. Bring the power back. There you go. What do you think? You think you're about sticks in neutral? Right there. Good. Bring the power forward. All the way forward, Barrett. All the way forward. Good. You're looking straight ahead. You're focusing on infinity. The wind's right on your nose. Here comes the tail coming off the ground. Now lower the nose. Lower the nose. Get you more airspeed. Bring the power back. Climb straight ahead. Straight ahead. Don't turn yet. There you go. 1,800 RPM. Looks good. Hold it right here for now. Cool, good job. All right, let's go ahead and make a shallow right-hand turn. Good job with the rudder. Just keep it shallow. Remember, we're climbing, so we don't want anything too steep. And just keep the turn going. And that runway that we took off from, I want you to fly parallel to it, to the southwest. Not too steep. That's 45 degrees. We're only looking for 20. Good. We'll roll the wings to level here. Now we're going to climb straight ahead at 75 miles an hour. Cool. So it's all coming back to me. You were from, I can't remember, you're from down south, and you're right, you're here working, right? From where?
Alabama.
That's right. Bessemer. Good. Boulder here, looking good. Now, Kalamazoo's controlled airspace goes all the way down. If you look into the south, you see that big lake down there. It's off to your left. Yeah. It goes all the way to the end of that lake. So I'm monitoring their radio now. Once we get outside their, what they call their Class D airspace, then we don't have to listen to them anymore.
Okay.
Man, it's nice and smooth up here today, though. That's for sure. Just continue your climb. We're going to go up to 1,800 feet.
Okay.
More power. There you go.
So is all this moving around, is that me doing that?
Nope, that's just turbulence.
Okay.
This morning it was like really, really smooth, really calm. Normally it's pretty calm. You look outside at the air and it's pretty hazy today, which means there's a lot of moisture in the air. And usually when there's a lot of moisture in the air, that means it's really, really smooth. Where we want to go here, Barrett over here, you see all that grass over there? Let's head over that way. That's where our runways are. Not really grass, it's really corn. Cool. And then once we get to 1,800 feet, we'll level off there. One of our rules of flight is when we're flying over a populated area, like here, we have to stay 1,000 feet above the city. And that's what we have right now, so we are now legal. And then once we level off, we can bring the power back to 1750. There you go. So at 1750 is that needle halfway between the 7 and the 8. There you go, just right there. Cool. Now we're going to go out here another couple miles. Remember those wires right ahead of you are 45 degrees. And then the struts that are right next to those wires are 60. Man, you picked a nice day to fly. It's been nice, you know, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, last 3 days have been like this. It's been really, really nice.
Yeah.
When you want to learn how to fly a Stearman or any other airplane for that matter, you kind of want it to be smooth. Bumpy is kind of part of flying, but when you're learning, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So airport that we're going to land at is right over, not land, but shoot our approaches in it. I can see the runway right here. If you look a little bit off your right down below, it's on the other side of this main road. It's a big X, basically or crossing, north, south, east, west. Let's make a little bit more of a right-hand turn, Bear. We'll head on over here and line up with those section lines. You can see those tree lines down there, east, west. There you go, good. Perfect, we'll roll the wings to level here. And now we're...
3557, we'll be ready at the end.
We're outside the Kalamazoo airspace. So let's try our first turn. Let's do a 360 to your left. We're looking for, 45 degrees to your left.
Okay, I see that.
That's schoolcraft off your left wing there. There you go, good. So this kind of warms you up to what you did before. It's 90 degrees. (180 degrees). (270).
Kalamazoo Tower, system 5454, Quebec, Sweden, level at 1,500.
360, great. Let's try one of those to your right. Same deal, add a little right rudder.
All right.
Degrees.
4340, ready, copy, flight.
180. 270. 360, good. We'll roll the wings back to level here.
So 68334,
Now, I mentioned this inside. The steeper your angle of bank, the higher your stall speed. So now we're going to be going from 45 degrees to 60 degrees. The way to combat that higher stall speed is add a little bit more power. So why don't you go ahead and do that. Give me about 54 RPM. There you go. That'll work right there. Barry, let's try a 360 to your left. Put that left strut on the horizon. Left strut on the horizon. There's 45. There you go, good. Cool. Goes right around, doesn't it?
Sure does.
That's a 180. Keep it going left. Just work on keeping that strut right on the horizon. Cool, we'll roll it on out. Great job. Same deal right. Leave the power right where it's at. You're going to add a little right rudder. Let's do a 360 right, 60 degree angle of bank turn. And there's 60 degrees. So now you lost a little, the nose came down. So yeah, get it back where you want it. Keep it going right. Good. Then we'll roll it on out here. And then once we roll it on out, we'll bring the power back to 1,750 RPM. Good. Okay. Let's try the Lazy 8 here, okay? So we're out over this unpopulated area. This is a great place to do this. Let's try it to your left. So 10 degrees to your left. And bring that nose on up. And again, what we're doing is we're listening for the airplane. You can hear it slowing down. Don't move that stick at all. We don't need any rudder. There you go. Here comes the nose to the horizon. Let it speed on up, going downhill. Good. Start rolling it on out to your right. Do the same thing to your right. Good. And then right rudder right about now. A little bit more right rudder. A little bit more. Let it come on through. There you go. Now do this. Bring the power back. Bring the power way back. Way back, way back. Go ahead and roll the wings to level. Bring the power back. More, way back. Way back. Bring it back some more. Okay. We're here at 2,000 feet. Let's do another Lazy 8 to your left with this power setting. You can really, so lower the nose, actually get a little bit more airflow over the wings, and I want you to hear the whistle of the wind in the wires. Now bring the nose on up. Listen to it. Hold it right there. You're right on the stall. And it's easy to know that because you can't really hear the whistle of the wind in the wires. Now allow the airplane to speed up going downhill. There's 80, start rolling it to your right. Do the same thing to your right. Bring the nose up, listen to it. And a little right rudder here. Right on the stall, good. You're going 55 miles an hour. Let's do another one to your left. So we'll roll the wings to your left. And bring the nose on up. We're listening. When you learn how to land this thing, Barrett, it's really important to know what the airplane is doing just by sound. You can kind of feel the stick. You're right on the stall right now. You kind of feel it. It's just really smushy. Cool. Great. Okay, we'll roll the wings back to level here and bring the power back in to 1,750 RPM. That's what that maneuver is trying to teach, is what it sounds like when it goes fast and what it sounds like when it's going slow.
Right.
Cool, let's climb up a little bit higher. We'll go back up to 1,700 feet.
Departure, U2 South 3557.
Now this is a pretty good lesson right here. If you look at your airspeed indicator, you're going to what, 65?
Yeah.
Look at your upper right-hand instrument, your vertical speed indicator. It says right now you're going down. So lower that nose a little bit. Give yourself a little bit more airspeed. Lower that nose some more. There you go. Now hold that right there. Now watch your upper right-hand instrument. You're at 75 miles an hour. You got more airflow going over the wings, and the airplane's going to begin to climb.
Right.
So if you want to climb, instinctively you're going to bring the nose up. But if you don't have enough airspeed, it's not going to climb. Let's make a left-hand turn. We're going to go through 3 stalls or 4 stalls here. All right, great, Bear. You're doing super. We'll roll the wings to level here. Bring the power back to 1,300 RPM. You did this before. This time you're on the throttle. Good. That's fine right there. Now, rather than putting it into a shallow descent, I just want you to start bringing the nose on up. There you go. You can feel the stall. You can start to move. You see feel the stick move. Bring the nose up some more. Up some more. Up some more. Up some more. There you go. Hold it right there. You're going to feel the airplane shudder. And there's your stall right there. Not a big deal. Good. Bring the power back in to 1,800 RPM. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Kind of thought so. All right, this next one, we're going to do a power on stall. We did the same thing before, and this is what would have happened if you took off at Kalamazoo and you went up too steep and you did not lower that nose. So add a little right rudder, keep that ball in the middle. That's important on these power on stalls. Go ahead and bring that nose up a little bit. There you go. Perfect. All right, my airspeed indicator says about 50 right here.
Yep.
Bring the nose up a little bit more. It's right on the stall. You started speeding up there. There it is. Yeah. Right there. Now, if you think you're in level flight, look at your upper right-hand instrument. The airplane's still sinking. So if you did that low to the ground's coming up to get you. Great. Okay, so bring the power back gently, slowly, all the way to idle. There you go. All right, cool. Start bringing that nose on up. That's what it's going to sound like when we shoot our approaches into the land. Bring the nose up some more.
Want to be in the 3-point?
Yeah, right about there. Listen to it. And then there's the nose. Perfect. Yeah. Good. And then all right, what do you think so far? Pretty cool?
Yeah.
All right, you feel comfortable with all that? Now this is what I want you to do next. This is your runway right here, right over the top of it. You see it here?
Okay.
Let's make a left-hand turn. I'm going to show you what you need to know before we do this. The wind today, what little wind we have is out of the southwest. So, I'm sorry, the northeast. So we're going to be using this runway right here. This is north and south, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to go up this direction here, and then we're going to make a left-hand turn, and a left-hand turn. You can see which way the wind's blowing just based on looking at the corn down below you. You see the corn blowing?
Yeah.
So we're going to land into the wind all the time, into the wind. Your only obstacle here, Barrett, there's a tower right there, cell tower. So we're going to be outside of that the whole time.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and make a left-hand turn. We're at 1,500 feet, that's perfect. There we go. So right now you're parallel to your runway. We're on the end of the runway now, approach in, so go ahead and bring the power back to about 1,500, actually 1,400 RPM. And I want you to lower the nose and maintain 75 to 80 miles an hour. We do not want to stall it out here, so lower the nose some more. You adjust your rate of descent by using the power. So if you want to get down really quick, you're going to chop the power to idle. If you need more speed, you're going to lower the nose. Let's go ahead and make a left-hand turn, shadow turn, 30 degrees. And look at your airspeed. So lower the nose. We want 75. There's our goal right over there. So look at your airspeed. So lower the nose some more. You got to maintain 75 with it. All right, when you're ready, let's make a left-hand turn. I want you to line up the airplane with the runway. I wouldn't touch the power here. If you brought the power back, we're going to end up by that road right there.
Okay.
Because the airplane comes down so fast when you chop the power. So what you can expect here is we're not going to have you flare the airplane. We're not going to let it touch the ground. And then when I say go around, I want you to start easing the power forward. Good. Airspeed's looking good. You got the runway base. Start coming back on the throttle. And lower the nose. There you go. There's your airspeed. That's the airspeed you want right there. Let it come on down. Good. Start bringing the power forward. Where's the runway? There's a runway there. Cool. More power. Let's go around. Lower the nose. More power. Get your airspeed just like you did at Kalamazoo. Lower that nose. Get your 75 miles an hour. Once you get 75 miles an hour, we're going to climb straight ahead. So remember these two things. You adjust your rate of descent by using the throttle. So if you're high and you want to get down low, you bring the power back. Or if you're low and you need to flatten out your descent angle, you add power. If you're going slow, you lower the nose. You don't add power for speed. What do you think about that?
Pretty good.
Kind of got it? You want to try another one?
Yeah, sure.
Let's try another one. Continue your climb. Again, we're going to make a big rectangle, left-hand rectangle. So whenever you're ready, we'll make a left-hand turn.
Okay. Do we want to get to
Yeah, we'll go to like 1,200 feet.
Okay.
The idea here today is we always fly our patterns at the same altitude. So we're going to go on the downwind, we want 1,500 feet. Let's go ahead and start that turn now. Don't worry about it if we get too far away from the airport. Good. Now this road here off your left, that's a good landmark when we're over the top of that road. And we'll follow that road. We're still climbing. We got another couple hundred feet to go here. When I was learning how to land, my instructor always told me the quality of your landing is determined by your approach. So if you practice approaches, which is what we're doing now, and you get really good at the approaches, the landing is just an extension of your approach.
Right. Yeah, that's what you were talking about before was the energy management.
Yeah. That's really big with this airplane because it slows down so quickly. Okay, so here we are at 1,500 feet. We'll level off here. We'll bring the power back to 1,750 RPM. And you can lower that nose. Level fly, there you go. Again, our only obstacle there is that tower. And I've landed here once before. It's like landing on a golf course. It's really, really nice. The guy who owns this owns the Harley-Davidson dealership in town.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like 80 years old. And his wife is like 45. Awesome. Okay, cool. Here we are. We're at the end of our runway. We'll bring the power back to 1,400 RPM. And then when you bring the power back, you always lower the nose. Maintain your speed. All right, cool. It's kind of hard at this power setting, but if you listen really closely, you can hear the whistle of the wind in the wires. And that is the speed that you want all the way down to the ground. Let's go ahead and make that left-hand turn now. There you go. Cool. And then check your airspeed. Lower that nose some more. Now, I'm not going to say anything on this one, Barrett. You're doing really, really well. You adjust the power as you see fit with the knowledge that you now know.
Okay.
It's kind of a game, you know. You want a certain airspeed, and you want it to be low to the ground on the end of the runway. So you see how the airplane's kind of sashaying around here?
Yeah.
So you're a little high, so bring the power back, all the way back. Bring the power all the way back, and then lower the nose. Because we're high, so we want to descend. Yeah, there you go. And it's kind of cool because that runway's right ahead of you.
Yep. Yep.
There you go. Good. All right, let's go around. So bring the power on in. More power, lower that nose. Get your airspeed. There's 70. And then we'll climb out at 75. Now with the Stearman, when you're a little bit high on final, it's actually kind of a good thing because you can lower the nose and you can see the runway right in front of your face, right? Yeah. If you're low and you're dragging the airplane in with a lot of power, you can't see the runway. And so you're looking over the side, and generally speaking, your landing is going to be crummy.
Right.
Want to try one more?
Yeah, sure.
Let's make a left-hand turn. We'll do this abbreviated pattern here. So make your left-hand turn to base. I'm sorry, to the crosswind. It's kind of crazy, you know, it's nice and smooth down low like this, whereas when we were climbing out here, it was much more bumpy.
Yeah.
And of course, when I say that, we hit some bumps. All right, so here's your road. We're continuing our climb up to 1,500. Yep, we'll make this left-hand turn.
Turn left on the roll 27, taxi to Foxtrot 6.
Good.
27 flash touch. 2 Delta, turn left on course, 1 box, so takeoff.
It is kind of weird landing on this runway, though, because it's pretty narrow.
Yeah.
Last year I landed on it, and it had corn, so obviously they alternate corn and then beans, and now it's kind of hard to see it from the back seat. It's so narrow when you're on final. All right, this is good. We're on the end of our runway. We're almost at 1,500 feet. So we'll level off here, and then we'll bring the power back. Because we're a little bit lower this time, 1,500 RPM.
Okay. Go
ahead and do that now. There you go. Good. Let's go ahead and make our base turn now. Perfect. That's a nice 30-degree angle of bank turn right there. want you to make these decisions on your own about power and speed. Airspeed's looking pretty close.
Sub 2 Delta, contact departure, have a good day.
Order departure, stationary sub 2 Delta. You have a good day.
So listen to you. There you go. Lower that nose. There's your airspeed that you want. We're all the way down to the ground. So add a little power. It's starting to get a little slow out here. So now you're down to 70. Good. Cool. Let's go around. So lower the nose. Get that speed. And we'll make this right-hand turn here, Barrett. Just continue climbing. We're going to go back towards Kalamazoo.
All right.
And we're going to have to climb back up. So we'll go back up to 1,800 feet or so.
Yeah, 723, right to maintain VFR at or below 2,500. Departure frequency will be 119.2, squawk 5351.
Cool.
We have 723, route back here.
So, you know, when you start shooting patterns, and you start shooting landings, basically, the way I do it, I go about teaching it, we do 5 of those, you know, because if you start doing like 6 or 7 or 10 landings, each one is going to get you worse and worse and worse.
Right.
Because the pilot load is so high on those things. Alright, so the airport is just about over the nose, maybe a little bit more to your right. Give the tower guy a call here. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1, where you're inbound for Schoolcraft.
Stearman 1, roger, 1040 at 5. Report a 2-mile final for runway 5.
2-mile final for 5, Stearman 1. Okay, so they're saying the wind is 040 at 5 knots. So it's right on the nose. So I'm going to have you land on runway 5.
Okay.
And that's the same runway we took off from. That's the diagonal runway there. Can you see the airport from that front there?
No.
Not yet. These buildings right over here, that's the Pfizer plant. That's on the end of runway 35. So you're actually going a little bit more to your right. I can actually see the runway. And we can level off here. This is good because basically we're in the pattern to land right now. You see the runway we're going to land on over here? About 5 miles away.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yep, head right towards it. The wind should be just right on your nose.
5A Zulu, roger, maintain VFR at 3,000, expect fire from departure. Departure frequency will be 119.2 and squawk 1306.
There we go. So the tower told us to give them a call 2 miles out on final, and then he'll clear us to land.
Okay.
Maybe on 723, Kalamazoo Tower, flighting 060, runway 5.
It's a little bit difficult when you start learning how to land, and then you're at a tower-controlled airport, they give you a straight in, because you're learning how to land by using turns, you know, rectangles in the sky, and so now all that goes out the window on a straight-in approach. I wouldn't mind landing on this golf course off your left wing. Looks like it's pretty nice over there. Now you can see the runway. So right now we're at just about 1,800 feet, more or less. So I'm going to say like right now we're at about maybe like 3 miles out.
Maybe on 723, contact departure, have a good day.
723 over departure, thanks.
So here we are, and what we'll start doing, we'll start a gentle descent. So just lower that nose a little bit. We'll leave the power right where it's at. Barrett, go ahead and lower that nose. We'll start descending on down. We're about 800 feet now. And I'm going to say we're about 3 miles out now. So are you all set with this landing here in your mind?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
Okay. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1, we're about 2 out.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo Tower, runway 5, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 5, Stearman 1. The crazy thing about this runway, it's pretty wide, so when you land on it, it's kind of, your depth perception gets a little bit skewed. All right, so let's bring the power back to about 1,600 RPM. And we'll just kind of stair-step it down.
Kalamazoo Tower, 2158 Zulu, pulling short 5 on hotel, ready for departure. Roger, 2158 Zulu, Kalamazoo Tower, hold short runway 5, landing traffic. Hold short 5, landing traffic. 8 minutes.
You see those 4 lights on the left side of the runway?
Yep.
Those are what we call our VASI lights. So when there's 2 reds and 2 whites, that means we're right on the glide slope. If there's 4 whites, that means we're a little bit above the glide slope. You got 1 red, 3, so we're a little bit above the glide slope. All right, so right now we're going about, what, 90 miles an hour. So don't let it go any lower than this. Just let it start bleeding the speed off here.
Okay.
All right, I'm with you. The wind's right off the nose. Looks good. Perfect. Bring the power back a little bit more. Let it come on down. Let the airplane come on down. All the way back on the power. We have the airport made. All right, so heels on the floorboards here, Barrett. They're looking good. Pick up the runway mark inside of the runway. Keep it off, keep it off, keep it off, keep it off, keep it off. There it is. All right, it's not over. All right, so the stick's back in your lap.
All right.
And we got to keep it going straight by small little rudder inputs. Small, because we're going fast. If you use a big one.
Stearman 1, when able to make a 180 on the runway. Left on Alpha, cross runway 9er, Bravo to the Zoo.
180 Alpha, Bravo, cross 9er to the Zoo for Stearman 1. You got it, my friend. He wants you to make a right-hand turn. We're going to 180 it. More to the right, more right. We're going to do a 180.
Oh, on the runway.
Yeah. All right. Go straight back, and we'll make a
Kalamazoo
left-hand
Airport
turn.
information, hotel now current.
So the idea is when you come down on land, you know, you start to flare the airplane, you got to listen to it, because we know from doing power off stalls that it's going to stall. When it stalls, it's really, really quiet. And now you get some more ground time with this thing back to the right. And then we're going to make a left on Alpha here. So where it says A.
Roger, 58 Zulu, turn right heading 0.
There you go.
5, clear for takeoff.
Cool.
Right 050, clear for takeoff.
And watch this slide over off your left there. So I hope that's what kind of what you wanted to do today. I kind of fed you to the wolves, but I made you do a lot of stuff.
No, that's fine.
So now what's interesting is I want you to taxi here. There's your wind right there, right? So what's happening right now is the wind is pushing on your rudder and your fin. And so it's going to want to make the airplane weather vane to go to the left.
Right.
You can maybe feel it.
Yeah.
So it goes to the left a lot easier than it goes to the right. again, like I mentioned at the beginning part of our flight, this is the only time it can be heard right now, so we're nice and slow with it. Awesome. And he did clear us to cross this runway, so we don't have to ask for permission. So we're just going to kind of go across runway, make this right-hand turn, head back to the air zoo.
All right.
So you're kind of fearless doing all this kind of stuff up there.
Well, it can only get so bad.
You did good. So there we go. Make this right-hand turn and go straight ahead. Cool. Obviously, it's a lot easier to learn how to land this thing when the wind's right on your nose. That's what's nice about Kalamazoo. We have 3 different runway options. With Stearmans, I generally don't shy away from going to an airport with just one runway, because your options are extremely limited.
How are they limited?
Because if you have a heavy crosswind, you only have one runway. There's only one runway to land on, whereas if you have 2 runways or more, you have different options. Because these things in a crosswind are pretty nasty. So just kind of minimize your turns here, because we don't need to be making these really big turns. So just kind of do this. So gently start coming to the right. You're not in a big hurry, so because I think you're using too much pedal.
Right.
And then you hang your head over the left side, and then gently bring it back to the left, and it'll come back to that, just like that. Good.
I guess the lag time is what I'm
You got to get used to it. So we're going to make this right-hand turn now. We have just a couple more runway lights to miss. And then straight on in. Now that we missed all the taxiway lights, now there's just 2 airplanes to miss. We have the new Standard there and this Viking here, so we'll make this left-hand turn. And just do your best to stay off the brake. I think you're on the left brake some. There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
You can feel it.
Don't know how sensitive it is.
Yeah, it's actually really not. They're really nice brakes. They don't grab or anything. I'm going to help you here. We're going to make this. You asked me about the tail wheel before, steering. This is its full swivel capability right here. So you can just pop the thing and it does this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which makes it pretty cool. To shut it down, I'm going to take you through that procedure right now. So bring the mixture control, the little red ball, pull that all the way back. There you go. And then add a little bit of power. Hold that right there. Good. The magneto switch is on the left side of the panel. Just turn that to off. That's it. Great job.
Leave the gas off?